Hi, everyone. This is Alan Lepofsky from Constellation Research, and I'm joined by my colleague.
Hi, this is Holger Mueller, also from Constellation Research with no banner. We have technical issues with Google Hangout, but speed is of the essence, not formalities. You can reach me at HolgerMU on Twitter.
There we go. And I'm Alan Lepo on Twitter. So Holger and I today want to discuss Microsoft Envision's keynote that happened this morning at their executive level conference. It's about 6,000 business executives joining Microsoft executives today in New Orleans. And they're talking about all sorts of digital transformation topics. In a recent video, Holger and I just discussed conversations as a service. And in this video, we want to talk about the impact of HoloLens. Holger, do you want to explain what HoloLens is?
Yeah, HoloLens was vision, it's now reality, of being able to bring the portable, wearable, I call it the headable because you can put it on your head, PC on top of people in order to augment reality. Microsoft doesn't like it, augment reality, or something called mixed reality for a number of reasons. But it's basically the first time, this is the part to understand, that Microsoft created its own platform for the first time. Not like a remake of a PC, which is Surface Wars, or giving software to partners, but there's a platform of how we can interact with others, how we can learn with others, how we can see and communicate with others.
Exactly. So for those of you that have seen science fiction movies or things that are actually starting to become reality, you've probably seen people with these giant headsets on. And Holger mentioned something specific. He called it augmented reality and then said Microsoft likes mixed reality. Many of you have probably heard the term virtual reality. Now, what the significant difference is, in virtual reality, you are not seeing the real world. You are transported into science fiction, fantasy world, space, wherever you are. You don't see what's really around you. With these mixed reality headsets, it's actually clear. So you're looking at what's in front of you, but digital holograms are being transposed into your field of view. So where could we use things like this at work? How is this going to impact the way that people are going to be working in the future? What does this mean for business meetings, chat clients, videos like we're doing right now? Like, should we, in 3 or 4 years from now, be seeing holograms of each other? Holger, what are some of the use cases for these mixed reality environments?
Well, could we fix the issue we have Google Hangouts right now by you activating me and I stand holographically behind you, right? That was an ad hoc use case for this right now. But the interesting thing is, like, how will people collaborate, work with each other, see the same thing? Look beyond structures, right? The big demo a year ago was in construction where somebody said, oh, the customer wants to have a door here. And then the engineers could look through the wall and see, oh, there's major piping behind it. Maybe not such a good idea. Can we take it to the customer and move the wall by a few feet to the left or right where it really works, right? We are so living in the physical world that we cannot see beyond the structure. So that's one big use case. And then the sharing collaboration part, but I think you have good examples for that.
Well, yeah, let's talk about the engineering one a little bit further. So you're telling me last year I did a home renovation and the architect showed me these 2D blueprints that meant pretty much nothing to me. Right. So you're saying in the future, I'm going to stare at my actual walls and see where things are going to happen, where the pipes are going to be. And I think that's a dramatic difference. Microsoft was showing, for example, Lowe's hardware, helping people do kitchen renovations, seeing what their kitchens look like. They showed us NASA. They showed us in the recent International Space Station mission where the astronauts were wearing HoloLens and were speaking to mission control and learning how to fix things. So they were seeing the real things, where they should click, what they should look at, what they should twist, what they should turn, etc. So
John Kelly was at both events. I would like to ask Mrs. Puffer to go to Microsoft events back-to-back week or stay in the space station for 2 weeks.
So what's harder, to be in space or to travel to Microsoft events? That's
exactly.
Well, maybe you'll pose that question to him on Twitter. Yeah. Now, for business, you mentioned something about like data visualization. I think that is massive. So the example Microsoft has been showing is anatomy, seeing a virtual reality or an augmented reality version, I should say, of the human body and being able to see in 3 dimensions. Here's where the heart goes, here's where the kidney goes, and teach about that. Now, imagine that for the future of Microsoft Excel or Microsoft Power BI, where today we try to visualize information and data using charts. And there's nothing more impacting than showing a sales quota where the line is going up and to the right. Everybody wants to see that. But imagine a year from now, 3 years from now, whenever it happens to be, visualizations of your data in 3 dimensions and being able to click on it and expand it and open it and close it and drill in deeper to areas, things like that. I think that's going to be a huge impact.
Absolutely. I mean, we as humans, we live in a 3D world, and as such, we had a million years to get used to processing information in the 3D, in the real world. Now, we always had to project to the 2D world because the way how screens are made, or books, or charts, or drawings are made. So it's going to be very, very powerful to walk through 3-dimensional representations of data and understand it and process it so much faster than when it can go in 2-dimensional, move it, and also make it interactive, right? The important thing is not static data. In the workshop we did last week here in San Francisco, right, we had I think they called it the energy source or something, but we could move it, we could set it, we could turn it around, we could look under it. So there's so much more to explore into information coming, which is so much more human in large part than looking at a screen.
Yeah, Holger and I were very lucky participants in the Microsoft Hologram Academy last week, where we actually built 3D holograms and got to see what they look like. And it was a game-changing experience. Like, it really was. You know, I hate those cliche terms, but it's the first time in my life. I'm not a big video game player, so I haven't done this before, but I got to see holograms floating in front of me. Now, I showed this to a lot of friends and family and even coworkers, and they cynically said, well, that's ridiculous. No one's going to walk around with these giant headsets on, and no one's going to use them at work. And I agree, but I want people listening to this to understand. Think back to what the very first digital portable music player looked like. You know, think of what the first Walkman was like compared to what you have today. Think about what the first mobile phone was like, this giant 10-pound brick, compared to the phone that you have today that replaces, 100 objects, from GPS to flashlights to credit cards. And, these HoloLens are, really a glimpse at the way things are going to work. And now, Holger, you said, something really important, headable computing, or, we talk about wearable computing, but these are ones that are, right on space. Hardware-wise, it's pretty neat to me. You're not tethered to the computer, right? When you're walking around on a HoloLens.
That's right. It's an independently, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, explain to people who haven't seen one, what is this headset? What's in it?
So it's a variable PC, right? It's a Intel 32-bit architecture. Microsoft built, like everybody does right now, their own CPU. They call it the Microsoft Holographic Processing Unit. It's in version 1.0. It's a 64 gigabyte flash system with 2 gigabytes of RAM. So pretty sizable thing for being on your head, and has between 2 to 3 hours of battery life. It can be operated while charging, so you don't have to turn it off to use something. And it's a big evolution from being a tethered device. I mean, 15 months ago, the first version that Microsoft showed, you had, like, I jokingly call it the life support unit to schlep with you, right? Which was like a laptop bag, basically. Now it's completely on your head. I don't think it's too heavy. It's still strange to wear it, but humans are extremely adaptable, as we know, so I think people will get used to it. The side of vision got increased through the 2 holographic screens for that, and it's aware of your surroundings. There's 4 cameras set on top of that. It digitizes your surroundings. It has great sound. Microsoft found out that sound makes things more real to people. We know that since playing in the video arcade, but it's good for them to use that. So I think the standards will evolve very, very quickly to faster and better ways.
All right, so Microsoft HoloLens, the first sort of generation of for-work holographic computing, meetings, chat, data visualization, employee onboarding, education and training, virtual desktops, product catalogs, customer support. The use cases are endless, and we look forward to seeing where holographic computing goes in the future of work. So from Alan Lepofsky and my colleague,
Holger Mueller from San Francisco.
All right, from Constellation Research, thank you very much, and we look forward to speaking to you about holographic computing.
Thanks for watching.